Quite recently, a highly tragic plane crash has happened. It's really sad to know. It killed 97 people that went on board. So I was going through a couple of historical air crash investigations, and the reports and the videos and the documentaries, and trying to sort out what went wrong and that. And while I was going through that, I realized something really important, which I learned, um, not about the air crash, but how you react to particular situations. I'm going to tell you how. So, exactly 2 years ago, I had my first flight. I traveled for the first time on by air, and I was kind of careless on the flight. So, because the flight was in the early morning, at 6 a.m., I felt quite dizzy and sluggish and was really tired because I hadn't slept the night earlier. So what I did was, on the flight, I laid down straight on the row because nobody else was sitting beside me. I laid down and I slept. So a flight attendant came to me and she asked me to sit straight. I didn't respond to it quite positively or maturely. I didn't. I sat straight and I gave her a look in the eye, you know, indicating that I was annoyed by what she said. And then when she went, I laid back, straight down, slept again, like on the couch or something like that. And she came back. And what she did was she aggressively held my arm and made me sit straight, and she tied up my belt. And I was really annoyed by that. The reaction of the lady was quite aggressive, which I didn't like. Looking at the air crash investigations recently, I got to know and I realized how important was it for me to follow the instructions, because in a lot of cases what happened was that sometimes accidentally, a window got broken and one of the passengers flew away out of the plane. And that could have happened with me if a similar case had happened. Now, I kind of realized she was right, and I had been holding a grudge over her for 2 years. Now, I'm sending my blessings to her, may God bless her for what she did, because that actually made me realize that these people, the crew on the plane, or any person in any particular field who's an expert and who has got quite experience of a couple of things in the field, they actually know better than us. And the reason she was aggressive was because if something had happened, I had less probability of being saved, or less probability that I wouldn't be injured on the plane. And the same thing goes for the coronavirus thing. And I learned that these doctors, they're not stupid. They've been researching and spending all of their lives in trying to figure out the cures and remedies for a lot of diseases. And because they've been spending so much, we have negligible knowledge as compared to theirs. So this is what I learned from this tragic incident, and I learned how we should respond maturely to people who rightly guide you, even though you have no idea sometimes what the other person is, where the other person is coming from, and why they're telling you to do something. Sometimes you probably never know. So it's a really, on a positive note, it's an advice, or it's a recommendation, because I've got a bunch of people in my family who died due to the coronavirus. So I'm gonna recommend all of you to stay at homes, Stop family and friends gatherings that are taking place in certain parts of the world. That's not good. That's gonna cause you a lot of suffering. So that's what I had to tell you today. God bless you. Stay safe and don't avoid the advices of the people who are expert in their fields. God bless you.